Hi, this is nyattamarywoods, and you're listening to Wake the F Up podcast. Dad first.
My name is Roberto Requena, and I'm 34 years old, proud single father of a beautiful young man, and I'm a military veteran and now law enforcement.
Okay, so Rob, I want to just share with my audience a little bit why I even have you here on Wake the F Up podcast, because it's a podcast where we get raw, we get real, we talk about things that people shun away or they get really uncomfortable about, or they second guess whether they should even talk about it at all the nooks and crannies of the things where people are just like, yeah, it might come up in small talk, but it's not necessarily mainstream.
Right.
So my goal is to help people get more comfortable with getting intimate and vulnerable with themselves, and so they can get intimate and vulnerable with other people. Sometimes it's weird, those two words, intimate and vulnerability, especially for men, because men are just like, that's gay. I have you here, Rob, today because we met at my old housemate's home that I used to live at in Wrightwood, California. And we met post Halloween celebration, and we literally met over me being excited that I was popping my bubbly of as ever sparkling wine, okay? That I didn't want to share. I literally said, I'm not sharing. I don't know who says that. Right? Yeah. But I shared it with you and another young man. And I found, you guys, talking to Rob was not just easy, but his whole demeanor was very open, very mature space of someone who is being hyper vigilant to his atmosphere and his environment. And you definitely have an energy where you want to learn, you want to be the best that you can be. I just got that whole vibe from you. And that's really why we're here. And I'm excited about that. So are you good with that? Are you good with what I saw in you?
Yeah, definitely. I am, like I said, I'm very open. I don't mind sharing my stories, and I am, due to my life experiences and jobs that I've had, I am, very vigilant and open to most things, which you have to be able to adapt and, get the mission done.
Yeah, and I love that you said that because since 2005, I've been very much so on a narrow walk in my purpose. And that has been focused on service, like service to whatever the mission is at hand. I'm a Jesus freak. And so it's really like whatever the mission is at hand, my relationship with God and my purpose. So again, when I saw you, real recognize real. So I definitely saw someone and engaging with someone who was present and really ready to serve, like ready to serve yourself, ready to serve your son, ready to serve the people around you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about like where you're from, a little bit about your upbringing.
I was born in Monterrey, Mexico, and I was there until I was 6, then moved to East Texas, uh, where I was there all the way until I graduated high school. And from East Texas, I shipped out to the military, got stationed out here in California, and that's where I've been ever since I got stationed out here. And growing up, it was my mother and 3 brothers. I'm the youngest of 4 boys, and our father, he wasn't really like in our life. He would show up every once in a while, but not really.
Youngest of 4 brothers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I have I have 4 girls, 3 bonus girls, but the youngest bonus girl is 7. And I think to myself, you're either going to grow up extremely strong and vigilant or the biggest baby because she gets picked on
Yeah.
and just, I mean, and there's other factors there, but I
Mm-hmm.
just think, whoa, what was it like being the youngest boy in the midst of
So
4 brothers?
to me, it
Or
was
you were the
honestly,
4th, so it's
yeah,
4
I
of
was
you.
the youngest. Yeah. So
Okay.
to me, it was honestly like a blessing because I got to see my older brothers go through life, and I learned through their experiences what to do and what not to do, what I like and what I don't like. So it was enjoyed it. Like I said, I've always been one that loves to learn, and I'm very vigilant, and I always use that as like my, ability to learn through them. And yeah, we were never like we were always like very since we just have our mother, we were always very like good with each other. We never really argued. Even with disagreements, we wouldn't really get too worked up about it. My mom left my father. He was a very like violent man, and that's why they ended up divorcing, and never got to experience any of that. Mainly my older brothers, they're the ones that did have to deal with that, and I think maybe that has something to do with them being protective of me and not being a bad man because they saw a bad man. I'm the only one that's decided to explore the world and ship out to the military and then law enforcement because I wanted to continue to serve my country. And we all have different jobs and different lives, but we all have that same, moral compass of, what our mother taught us to be good men to our family. So, but yeah, we all do our own thing.
So would you say your mom was emotionally available in the sense of when anyone fell and
Mhm.
scraped themselves, she was there. You guys, communicated something was
100%.
on your heart, your mind. She was
Yeah.
available. Anything that you needed, she provided.
Yeah. My brothers and I also got our, hard work ethic. I'm not sure if mentioned to you, but like I got my own job when I was 11 without even telling my mom. Once I got, my first check, food or whatever, and I gave her the rest, and she was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Oh, I got a job." She's like, "What do you mean you got a job? You're 11." And I was like, "Well, I don't want you to have to worry about me. Like, I can be my own man." She's like, "No, if you're gonna work, you're gonna come work with me." I'm like, "Okay." So I started working with my mom, and yeah, that's when my uh, working career started at a very young age as well. And I learned that through her experience, having how she had to grow up quick. And then my brothers as well picked it up right away that, nothing is free and we got to, work for it. If I wanted something extra, I didn't want to, feel like she has to struggle or worry about like, oh, I want this video game or I want to do this. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of, we all kind of want to just start making our own money and make it easier on our mother because we didn't want her to have to worry about it. She never told us anything about money and like, oh, I'm stressed because of this, but we took it upon ourselves to just we want to be our own men and we want to like take care of her now. Over there in Texas, the recruiters can just walk into the classroom and ask to speak with the class. So the Navy recruiter came in and he was like, join the Navy, and I was like, okay. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, like I don't know what I want to do like after I graduate, like yeah. And you get like I get to see the world while I figure myself out. So that's what took me to that. And I was in the Navy, shipped out to the Navy right after I finished high school. Got stationed out here in Lemoore, California, Central California. Did my 4 years. And after I got out, that's when I decided to go to college. I knew what I wanted to do, which was continue to serve people. I love helping and protecting and serving my country and people. So I decided why not continue with that by joining law enforcement, but I want to get a degree in it first. So I went to college to, do criminal justice. And while I was in college, I got, an ad from LAPD to join, and I figured why not. So I, took on that task, and I've always been very focused on like what I want is what I make happen. So I was focused on let me finish this degree and make it easier for myself. So when it came time for the police academy, like it was a breeze for me, and I enjoyed every minute of it just because I came prepared, physically, already being fit from the military, and then also mentally, like I already had the academics down. So it made it very easy for me to go through that process.
Did you ever feel, as the youngest brother, and just watching your older brothers, did you ever feel like you wanted a different type of lifestyle, like you wanted to be in the street?
Just get home by the time the street lights come on, and I would bike it everywhere to all my friends. I got to live a very good life of being a kid. Like I got to just go be with my friends and go play, and uh, always hanging out with my friends. Never really into like the whole I want to be bad and all this and up to shenanigans. I mean, fun shenanigans. So yeah, I never saw that type of lifestyle as appealing to me. I was always just happy with my friends doing kid things.
So you said small town. Where did you grow up?
Kilgore, Texas. It's in northeast Louisiana, Oklahoma border.
Okay, so you would say you grew up like a Southern boy.
Mm-hmm. Very
Oh,
much so.
okay. Yeah, because I definitely being around you, I definitely got that Southern hospitality.
Yes, ma'am.
about you. Okay. And so you have one son.
So we had my son when I was 21,
Okay.
and yeah, married at like 23.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And
And
then you were married for how long?
just a couple of years we got divorced when I was 25.
Okay. If you could do it again, would you get married as young or?
I mean, you can't really, there's no
Mm,
way of telling it. It's just, love is love. So when you find it and you feel it's right, then yeah, I was definitely happy like with my decision with that, and I was very devoted to my ex-wife. And unfortunately the circumstances, like I told you, of infidelity on her part is what ended up breaking up the marriage. But 1000%, like I am a believer in Christ and marriage and all that. So yeah, I would do it all over again.
if I ask that question to a woman, women are so emotional. So we
Hmm.
get into like the space that I was in, how I've been affected, and
Hmm. Yeah.
but we would probably land the same place. But it's
Right.
just like this hyper process of like, okay, wow. So, and so you have one son. How old is he?
Mhm. He is 11.
11. And then you mentioned right before we started recording that you and his mom decided to take him out of school and do
Yes.
homeschool.
So he's been between both like his whole
Okay.
life due to like COVID and due to like things that happen. So he started off kindergarten with me, physically going to school, and he
Hmm.
loved it. He excelled. He was getting perfect scores, and the teacher's pet type of kid that is like just loves being around people and everyone. And then COVID hit once he started first grade, and he had to be do the homeschool thing, online school. And when it all the restrictions lifted, he like we tried again to put him into regular school, this time with mom. And he that was like the second half of first grade, and he finished that. But when it came to second grade, his mom reached out to me like, hey, since we know we can do the online thing, and you have a schedule. She doesn't work, she's a housewife, happily remarried. And she was like, you only work half the month because you're on your 312. So why not just do homeschooling so he can be with you 3-4 days and me 3-4 days? And I was like, okay, yeah, let's give it a try. And why not? Like, it's only elementary school, we can teach him all the basics, and then once he wants to socialize when it comes to middle school, we can revisit public school. So he ended up doing online, just homeschooling up until this year, because he had asked us last school year, hey, I'm starting junior high, I want to meet other kids and socialize. So we're like, okay. So we put him in school with mom this time, and she lives out in La Quinta, out by Palm Springs. And he's been going to school, uh, public school, and he just keeps telling us how kids are weird. They talk about disgusting things that are like adult stuff they don't need to be talking about. And they you know they're just he's a very sweet kid, and like a very chill, like he's very chill, super chill, the opposite of me. I'm very like people person, hyper, and he's like the opposite. He's just a chill little dude, and he's like, can I just go back to homeschooling? And we were like, well, let me talk to your mother. And he always asks me to talk to his mother, and I'm like, you have to be comfortable with going straight to her yourself. I told him, I was like, I will talk to her, but I need you to tell her first, mom, I would like to go back to homeschooling if that's okay. And he told her, and then she reached out to me, hey, did he mention this? And I told her, yeah, he told me, and I just wanted him to tell you first. And we've always been like that. Uh, he he tries to like ask me things because he knows, I don't know if he feels like more comfortable coming to me first or why that is, but he's always been more attached to me. And I tell him like, no, you have to show your mother that respect, and you have to go directly to her as well.
Hate to say that is not common.
Hmm.
Like, I hate to say that,
Yeah.
but just the way you're, especially because you're co parenting,
Hmm.
right? You're co parenting.
Yeah.
And the very simple thing to just redirect him to his mother first,
Hmm.
I mean, the things that that would solve if some people would just do that.
I've always been very like with him. I don't lie, not even little white lies. I give him direct, like straight up. This is what it is, and these are your choices you can make. It's up to you to decide what you'd like. And it's he shaped out to be a very great young man, very mature and like intelligent for his age. And um, same thing, like I understand how you mean. Like it's not common because I had mentioned before, like even with mom and her husband, I sometimes have to be dad with them as well. Like they, she might not know what to do, so she comes to me and asks me for like advice, like, "Hey, this is going on with our son. What should I do?" And I try my best to guide her as best as I can, and especially when it came to like stepdad was going to be in his life now, and he was very young, confused, and told mom like or told stepdad before they were married, like, I don't like you and my dad doesn't like you. And she calls me and she's like, hey, our son is saying this to Andrew. And I was like, well, who's Andrew? And I didn't even know who this person was that was in my son's life. And she's like, oh, well, he's my
Wait, wait, wait,
boyfriend.
hold on. Let's slow it down. Wait.
Okay.
Did she say to Andrew as if like you were supposed to know who Andrew is?
Right. Yeah.
Do you
And
think that was just her way of kind of breaking it instead of just coming out to say it because it was uncomfortable, or what?
I think it's just a way of her. She just assumed that I knew, or that maybe Valentino had mentioned it before.
Okay, like how could
But
he possibly not have told you?
right. And
Okay,
she, I think it was more like she just assumed that I knew that he was in their life, or,
okay. Even though
and
it was her responsibility to tell you, though. Even
right,
though. Okay, okay,
right.
all right,
So I didn't
okay. Go
know.
ahead.
And I was like, well, who is that? And she's like, oh, it's, my boyfriend. We're going to move in together. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, what do you mean? Like, talk to him, like, let him know who he is and how he's going to be in your life. And then she's like, well,
Wait,
how?
so she told you that they were gonna move in together in
Yeah.
this conversation?
Yeah. And I was like, well,
Wow,
here's
wowzer.
yeah, and I was like, well, here's what we can do. Next time it comes time for us to exchange him, you stay home, have him bring him to me at the spot that we meet up. And she's like, really? Like you do that for me? I'm like, no, I'm doing it for my son. Like this is
I'm sorry.
like
Sorry.
like if this person's gonna be in my son's life, I need to know who this man is. So yes, have him bring him to me. And she's like, okay, thank you. And then we meet up. I go right up to the guy, I shake his hand, introduce myself, and my son's face lit up. He was like, Dad, you know Andy? And I was like, well, I know him now. And he's like, that's so cool. And they've been best friends ever since.
Just the honor that your son felt like he could
Mhm.
relax now.
Right.
Like he felt like
Right.
he could relax with this new man. And it's
Mhm.
like, could we blame
Yeah.
him? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you are his
He was just being
dad.
protective of me. Yeah.
Yeah. And respecting you,
Yeah.
and it's and so okay. So this okay, we need to stay here a little bit. I'm at a place in my journey. I am 43. Is that how old I think so? Yeah. I have 40, I think so, yeah. Because I have such a kid heart too. And
You
sometimes I'm
stop
like,
counting.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
I feel
what?
25 still.
Right. I'm like, what? I found that when I was talking to you and
Mhm.
me at being 43 years old, I feel like a complete alien when it comes to either people that are my age or that I grew up with, because not that anyone's doing anything wrong, but I feel like when I was younger, I wasn't aware that people weren't going to make the right decisions for a situation. It's very naive of me. Very
Right.
naive. I just thought, oh no, we're all about the greater good. Like we
Yeah.
all want the best.
Hmm.
And I never put in consideration, even though I was in ministry for a long time, like
Hmm.
serving like God, I
Right.
never really put in consideration that people wouldn't want to choose certain things, even
Hmm.
if it hurt. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, but you got to choose this, even if it hurts, because this is the right thing to do. This is for the greater good.
Right.
And so when I met you, I was like, oh my God, I'm identifying a
Hmm.
kinsman. That's how I felt. Like I said, I am identifying a like mind. I am
Yes.
identifying
Mhm.
someone who is really about the greater good, not for his life, but I see
Mhm.
someone who serves God. I could tell.
Mhm.
And I could tell all
Always.
that. right? I could
Mhm.
tell all that through that one example. Like your
Yeah.
son, like he was, and and many people might not agree, especially some
Right.
women in this day and age.
Right.
No, like stripping everything away.
Hmm.
That's like your son was totally in position.
Yeah.
Like he was in position because like you're his dad. You're the parent. You're his paternal parent. You're
Hmm.
the one to
You're
show
his
him
guide.
right. And
You're
and
his
he's a
guide in his
male.
life. Right.
Yeah. And he's a male. So
Hmm.
you're the one who shows him how to be, what's
Exactly.
respectful, what's not respectful, and the way you navigated that, where you just didn't give yourself respect. See,
Mm-hmm.
you just didn't give him respect.
Hmm.
You just didn't give your ex his mother respect. And you
Hmm.
just didn't like isolate the new person. For
Right.
the greater good, you did what was best for the situation.
And that's one of the things that my ex, her husband, and her family have always thanked me for, that they still love me. I can still go up to her parents and, hug them and greet them. And they always thank me for, thank you for being good to our daughter and our grandson. And, you've always been a great man and we appreciate it. And I was like, well, I'm a, Christ centered man. Like, you have to. Like, you have to do what's right always. And, like, I do that as well with my son and your guys' family. Like, it's never going to change. Like, I will always do what's best for everyone. And they always like appreciate me, and she doesn't. That's why we have such a great co-parenting relationship, is because she knows that I will always do what's fair and what's best for our son.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty
Hmm.
much. Like I'm very new to the understanding of co-parenting, like
Hmm.
as far as like being in that realm and seeing other people co-parent. I come from like a broken family. My dad was in
Right.
my life until 5, and then between my mom and my uncles just really scaring him away and the whole
Hmm.
thing. Like I as an adult, again, felt like an alien.
Right.
Like, do you know
Same.
this is
I felt the
co-parenting?
same. Like, it feels weird. Like, why don't people do what you're supposed to? Like, what's right?
Hello, for the
Like,
kids,
to
for the
like for
kids.
me it's natural, and like I see other people struggling with, like, drama with their ex, and I'm like, it's not about you, it's about the kids. Like, you like, even with my friends, whenever they found out about, her infidelity and getting a divorce, like, I would never let them badmouth, the mother of my child. I would always tell them, hey, be respectful. I understand you're mad for me, but it's not okay. Like, always respect first. Like, don't do that. Like, she made her choices. She's the one that has to answer to God, not me. And I forgive her. And so I've always been super respectful with her as well. Like, never, it has never ever wavered. Like, even through the thick part. So.
So this is the part where the audience is usually like, okay, but like, okay, so perfect Patty, it's like, oh,
Right.
everybody's perfect, right? And it's like, so my question to you is like, so because we know you're not perfect,
Right.
so it's just like, what's your challenges? What are your weaknesses? Places where you have to like really press in.
Mm, I mean.
Like, what are the things, especially, and listen, it doesn't have to involve people. It could
Mhm.
be, you know, it like for me, it's very much so easy for me to serve people than serve myself. So I have to be
Yeah.
very intentional. I have to be
Yeah.
very
So,
intentional because if
so
not,
that's the
it's
same
it.
thing.
That's
Like,
it.
I've always been very, like, I will do everything and anything for anyone in my life, and I sometimes like forget to, hey, you got to like do something nice for yourself as well. Like, I I'm a very big giver, and I'm sometimes like, I haven't really had the chance of being too much of like a receiver. I've had relationships and stuff, but uh I'm not sure. Like, I just been very about, going above and beyond for everyone. And I could.
And you're still single, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
know. I tried to hook you up with someone, but you have in my brain, my whole heart posture is just like, where is this man's wife? Like you, like Like, no. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Proceed. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Continue.
no, I just, I've had a lot of, just issues with dealing with people that are either not ready for a committed relationship or immaturity, or the big one that happens often is infidelity, unfortunately. And like, I don't understand how that is like, like this day and age, it's so prevalent. And especially like with the apps and everything, the internet. And yeah, I'm not sure. I guess my thing is I'm more of a traditional man. And especially being from the South, like, I not a lot of people are like that, especially out here in California, where that's not really the lifestyle. And yeah, I guess my thing is I'm a traditional man in a non-traditional area.
Right, right. I mean, listen, you're just chosen. You're just
Mhm.
chosen,
Yeah.
and you're chosen, you're called, and you are just a special person
Well, thank
that
you.
God created. Yeah, you're welcome, that God created uniquely to be a lover and to
Mhm.
be a respecter of persons, to be someone that could see a situation and navigate it accordingly for the greater good. You
Yeah, and like
know?
I relate to you so much about how you say you feel alien, because like
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
same, like when I was in the military, seeing people that I know, like back home, you're married, like what are you doing? And like it's just for me, it's like natural that we're supposed to be like this, but then like you said, I feel like an alien because everyone else is not this way. Like they don't do what's right for the greater good, and like me, I'm like it's I don't understand it. Like it's very that's just how I am, and I don't see how everyone else can't. Like that would make life so much better.
Right, right. Okay,
Yeah.
so I want to talk a little bit about something that
Hmm.
I said I wouldn't touch, and I don't want to touch it like in a big way, but
Hmm.
I do want to ask you why why you and your son's mother aren't together anymore.
It's yeah, due to her infidelity, like she cheated with somebody that she worked with,
Okay,
and
and
that's
you decided to not work that out with her or
not
try
at
to work
all.
it out.
Not
Okay.
at all. She knew right away that that is my number one thing, like infidelity, especially when you're in a marriage. Like
Okay.
that
Okay.
is a
And
big
and I
no.
want to and I'm sorry to cut you off, but because this is the
You're
portion I
good.
want to focus on.
Hmm.
I want to focus on the reasons why you decided not to stay. I want I that is what this perspective I want to really unpack and really want to show people why you decided not to stay. And not on, and the reason why I want to focus on that because not only did you decide not to stay in the marriage, you are able to have a very beautiful, I would say, co-parenting relationship.
Hmm.
So you kept the purpose,
Hmm.
which is the child,
Right.
but you understood that I get chills. I'm really corny. We gonna have to sit here. Are we gonna no
It's
for
okay.
real,
Me too.
for
It's okay.
real,
Me
for
too.
real. You
I'm a
know what I'm
big cornball.
saying?
I'm a
Yes, we
big
gonna have to sit
cornball.
here because
Yeah.
you kept the focus,
Hmm.
which was the child, but you did
Right.
not allow her mistake to be your standard.
Right.
You didn't allow that. And
Mm.
I think that is cock diesel because a
Yeah.
lot of people don't understand what type of seed you decided to sow when you
Right.
said no. So why don't
Right.
you tell us a little bit about that? So we don't need to know the details. Okay, it was a cheating
Right.
infidelity, fine. But I want to know your reasons and that process for you.
Well, she already even knew that that was my zero tolerance. Like infidelity is the number one no no for me. Like I've never even thought it. Like when I'm with someone, I never even think about looking at another woman. And uh, she knows that's my like cut dry. Like she knows the marriage is over, and I do that because I'm not gonna give a person a second chance to break my heart again. Like you had you had me, and then you chose to go outside of the marriage. And that is just the biggest disrespect to me, is that like being unfaithful to your partner, to your spouse. And she knew I was very you know serious about that, and she even said it when I confronted her, that like I'm never going to get you back on my. I'm like, no. And yeah, it's just. I refuse to give someone a second chance to, hurt me that way.
So you admit that it hurt you and it would you say it crushed you?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
I was very about my marriage, about my wife. Like, I'm a very committed man. Like, I go up, like, do these cute things for her and like make sure all her work clothes were nice and like military uniform. She was military as well, and make sure everything around the house, because I was going to school and she was still in the Navy, so I would make sure the house is clean, our son is fed, he's going through his milestones that he needs to, crawling, walking, taking care of the house. And I loved it. That was like the best 2 years of my life, being a house husband, of like just being able to be with my son and take care of the house. And uh, yeah, she it was, I don't know, it was just very easy for me to do that. And but I chose that once that infidelity happened. Like, I know that's my number one no. Like, I will continue with my purpose as a father, and I will always keep things fair with her, and she knows that, and that's why they still appreciate me for that reason. Because I could have easily gone back to Texas and taken my son with me, but that wouldn't be fair to him.
Okay. So this is what I want to say.
Hmm.
This you are an example for all those people that are like, there's nobody that no. You are Roberto is a beautiful example of a man who has standards, not because like he slipped and bumped his head one day and was like, oh, I have standards. No, because that's who he is. And that's
Yes.
who he chooses to be. And that is out there. And you're not the only one, Roberto. You're just someone who I gravitated towards because I'm like that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want people to get that there are people out there like Roberto, like myself, all out there that really have standards. And then we're not necessarily, and I love this because
Mm-hmm.
you haven't damned your your son's mother.
Hmm.
You just have allowed yourself a very clear boundary, and it's
Yeah,
such a great model for your son,
it
which
is.
mhm.
And he knows that I have always shown nothing but respect to his mother, and like you can tell, like he's like he can confine me to tell me, oh, like we need to, can we talk to mom about this? And like I told you before, like you have to go to her directly. And he even asked me before, he was like, do you love my mom still? And he was like, I say like 5 or 6. He was like, do you still love my mom? And I was like, I will always have love for your mother. She gave me you. And, I will always love her for that. And he's like, well, does my mom love you? And I tell him that's a question for her, buddy, not for me. And so, like I said, I'm very straightforward with him, and I will never keep anything from him.
That is just beautiful. Like that is healthy, growing a healthy, emotionally mature young man. And I met him. I met him, and I'm in awe. I'm in awe.
That's been sometimes like where, as myself, a single dad, like especially living so far from where I work, I wish, yeah, my son, he wants to live with me and go to school with me. That can't happen, buddy. Like, your mom is fortunate to be a stay-at-home mom, so you have to go to school with her if you want physical school. But I've always tried to be the father that I never had, because I didn't have my dad growing up. So I try to always do right by him and show him, what a real man's supposed to be like. And I feel like I've done a great job, and like I couldn't be more prouder than the young man that I have raised so far.
So listen, y'all. Roberto, you just stay over there for a minute. Just stand by, hold tight. Okay, listen, y'all. Roberto, I find this is what I'm discerning from Roberto. He is one in a million. Okay, one in a million. A man who was able to take the lack from not having a dad, be empowered by his older brothers. Clearly, God's and someone was praying for his family. Clearly, before he existed. Clearly, and he was able to become the very being of a human being that God desires for him to be. I really believe that. I really believe that because I don't believe that you could have a greater good outlook without knowing there's a power bigger than yourself
Hmm.
and being humbled by that power. Right,
Yes.
Roberto? Right, right,
Correct.
right,
100%.
right. And so I want you guys to know this is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like on all aspects for a man to be in his purpose, and that purpose could just be a man for his son, for
Hmm.
himself, for the woman that one day will be his wife, for his his ex-wife. To be a
Hmm.
man, sometimes your purpose is showing up in whatever assignment that God has given you for this world, you know? And so I want everybody to know this is what it sounds like, everyone. Sometimes, you know, it's about recognizing things
Hmm.
more than it is about knowing what you want.
Right.
You got to be able to recognize things because you can want things all day, you know?
Right.
So I think it might be about that. So, Roberto, tell me when it comes to you dating now, what has been your process?
So, I mean, I'm very, like I mentioned before, traditional. I don't like doing the pen pal thing. Like, I like to go on dates. So, I'm very straightforward of like, hey, would like to take you out, see if we actually connect, if there's chemistry. And, I've dated, since obviously I've dated since divorcing back in like 2016. And, yeah, I mean, it usually doesn't last any longer than like I would say the longest relationship I had after my marriage was like a year. And the same thing just comes up again where it's either uh, just not ready to commit to a full relationship, like move in and talk about marriage, and then we can't uh like I'm not saying rush to marriage, no, but like we can have that conversation. Is that something you want to have in the future? Or if they're not willing to commit, then I've had infidelity issues where once again they cheat and I'm like, I don't understand it. So but I have zero tolerance, so that's been
I
my
I'm
usual.
I met excuse me, I met you on a
Mhm.
date, right? When we met at the I think it was a Oktoberfest.
Yeah, yeah,
So
so
you were on a
that
date.
was, yeah, I was that is somebody that I was dating.
And then by the
And
time I saw you again, y'all, it was like two, three, I don't know. He was like, yeah, 2.5 weeks later, he had moved on from that. See, this is a
yeah,
man that knows damn well he's not gonna waste his time. Like
and
it was done.
I'm very straightforward too. Like, I will let them know, like, if I don't see it working out, like I will let you know. I'm not gonna waste your time. I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm very straightforward. I don't see it working out. I enjoyed meeting you. Thank you. Take care.
Wow.
So,
Okay. Okay. And what? How does your son feel about you dating?
I mean, he knows. Like, uh, him and my mom, they're always like, they always say like, protect your heart. Don't. Like, they want to see me with somebody, and my son wants to see me with someone. He wants a sibling from me, like, because he has
He
half like,
wants a sibling. Okay.
yeah, he's
Oh,
always
from
like,
his
Dad,
his
when are you gonna?
mom.
Yeah, he's always like, well, not so much now that he's older, because he's a little more mature now. But when he was little, he always be like, Dad, I want a brother or sister from you, and I'm like, well, I got to find the right one first. So he knows I date, and he knows I'm looking for somebody for me, and he would like that.
Okay. Okay. So, what's your current work position right now?
I work with LAPD at the Department's Operations Center, which we're the office that's basically in charge of like the whole department. We handle any major notifications. We're 24/7. Whatever any agency or city entity or anybody needs from LAPD, they come through us, and then we make sure it happens. And then vice versa. If we need something, like a patrol officer can call us and we'll make it happen for them. We'll reach out to DWP, we'll reach out to CHP, whoever they need, we can make it happen. And whenever we have major things like uh, adverse weather, where like floods and the fires, and Super Bowl was coming and the Olympics are coming, we're the ones in charge of getting the city ready, police wise, and we coordinate with everybody, like fire department, the mayor's office, anybody, like all the entities come together at my building, and we make it happen. So that's my position right now.
Wow. Okay. All right. So okay. So he got a job, ladies. Got a job. You got a good job with responsibilities.
Yes,
So you don't
ma'am.
plan. You don't plan on leaving California then, right? Anytime soon.
Not anytime soon, no,
Okay.
because my son's 11, so
Okay.
you know he needs his mother at least until he's ready to go out into the world on his own.
Okay. And what's like a big like bucket list thing you would like to do one day?
Well, we just did it together actually last week. My son and his stepsister and I, we just went to Japan for 2 weeks, and
Wow.
his stepsister, meaning nothing, not related to me at all. His stepdad's daughter. Uh,
Oh wow. So you took them.
yeah. So
Wow.
before we, like a few weeks before we left, his mom called me and was like, "Hey, I have Andrew on the phone, and we wanted to ask you a question." And I was like, "What's up?" And she's like, "Would you be okay with taking Andrea with you to Japan?" And Andrea's his stepsister, and I was like, "Yeah, of course." And then they're like, "Really? Like that's it?" I'm like, "Yeah." And
How
stepdad
old
was
is
like,
she?
"She's 14." And
Wow.
stepdad was like, "Wow, I thought there would be like more of a conversation." I was like, "No, I just need you to clear it with her mother first." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I already talked to her, and yeah, we just wanted to see if you were okay with it." I was like, "Yeah." And yeah, so I've met the mother also of his daughters because they have two, and like I said, we all co-parent all of us together very well. Well, stepdad and his ex-wife, I've heard they sometimes have issues, but yeah, no, we started a group chat of all the parents, and like I would keep them updated on what we're doing in Japan for that day and whatever I needed, like if I needed more money because it got way too expensive out there, they would send me like some more money, or if I need whenever we flew back, ste- uh, the ex of stepdad, the mom, she actually picked us up from the airport and drove me to my job where my truck was. And then she took my son and her daughter back to La Quinta because they live so far away from me. All around good things.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. Look at this. It's possible, y'all. It's
Yeah.
possible. I understand there's a lot of negativity out there. There's a lot of, what doesn't work, what can't work, but
Yeah.
this is a story. This is a situation. This is a testimony where you are different in a type of different blended family situation here too. You got lots going on. And
Yeah.
I love that it was like, that's it. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you asked if she could come, and you clearly had met her before, right?
Yeah, one time
Yeah.
we did Halloween all together because it was mom's year to have them, but
Okay.
my son really wanted me there. And I asked her, "Hey, is it okay if I join you guys for Halloween? I understand it's your year. You can definitely say no." And she's like, "No, by all means, come through." And I was like, "Okay." So that's when I first met uh, the stepdaughters and then also the mom of the stepdaughters. And we all walked together through the neighborhoods trick or treating. And uh, my ex's daughter, that's Valentino's half sister, she was little bitty in her little princess dress. She actually wanted to hold my hand. Like when we were trick or treating, I was like, okay, yeah. So I'm sitting there holding, their daughter's hand, and then
So sweet.
and then like the older one that went to Japan with us when we were doing the trick or treating a few years ago, she was like looking kind of bummed, and stepdad was busy with their youngest son, and I noticed her kind of bummed. I was like, "What's wrong?" And she was like, um, "I haven't gotten the chance to ring a doorbell yet." And I was like, "Oh, I got you. Come on." Because like all the other kids beat her, so I'm like, "Come on." We went ahead, try to pass all the group, and then I was like, "Go, go! The house has a light on." So she runs, rings the doorbell, trick or treat. She got candy. She got happy. Thank you so much, Robert. And then she keeps going. And yeah, so she had definitely met me before, and then it was a very easy like process whenever it came to like us getting ready to go to Japan. It was the day before we fly out, and I met my ex, and she had my son and Andrea, and yeah, we just came to. I picked her up, and she was like, "Oh, you met her before, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, we did trick or treating." And she's like, "Oh yeah." So yeah, it was a good time.
Wow. See, what I love most is you're clearly like the love of God in this atmosphere you've created. You're clearly the love of God because everybody's so shocked about your demeanor.
Yeah,
Everybody's
yeah,
just so, and it's nothing other than you're doing what's best for the situation.
My ex, she earlier in our breakup, where
Mhm.
she would do things to try to poke at me to see if I would do a negative reaction, and she never got it out of me, and I could tell that would like
Understandably.
frustrate.
Us women,
Yeah,
we
it would
do
like
that. Understandably. Okay.
it would frustrate her, and I'm like, no, like you're always gonna get like this. Like I don't waver. Like I know my purpose. Like I
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess that was God's grace for her to find someone sooner than later.
yeah
Because if not, you would have got on my nerves. She would have been like, "Oh God, he just get on my nerves. He's just a good
yeah
man." So I think it's just God grace for real. Because women, I think it's just God grace that she found someone sooner than later. Because
yeah. Maybe it helped with like what she went through with me to
certainly,
maybe
certainly,
she needed to see that there is good men and she needs to treat her now husband,
absolutely,
correctly. And
absolutely,
she doesn't want to, lose on what she lost with me. And
absolutely.
yeah, like I met, like stepdad and I were super cool. Like we both, are gun owners and love taking like my son. We'll take my son shooting. Like my stepdad and I will go together. And like he's like, oh, if you want to come have a barbecue this weekend, like very good, very great co-parenting. And I couldn't be happier. I would hate to be in a stressful situation with a not so cooperative parent.
Many people are, yeah. Many people are, absolutely. Like many people are. It's like, yeah, it's
Because even
interesting.
stepdad has told me before, he's like, dude, I appreciate like you just always being so cool. And like he's like, sometimes my baby mama's not the, greatest when it comes to talking about our daughters. I was like, yeah, no worries, man.
Have to be mature enough, emotionally mature enough, love ourselves enough,
Hmm.
to love our kids enough to do the right thing. And I also give blessings to your ex because she's in a good mind to be able to co-parent
Hmm.
with you too. Because sometimes you could be good in that person, they have a different experience, and so they're just self-destructive. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how
Yeah.
good you are. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. They're just like
Yeah.
committed. They're committed to it not working.
Yeah, so I'm
So
glad that she was very, perceptive to like
yeah,
me, and then like she can confide in me of like, hey, what do you think? What should we do? And I've always, been also very grateful for that. That she's been very understanding and willing to, work it out the correct way without like I never once raised my voice at her ever. And like I don't believe in any of that, especially since my background, having a violent father that I never really met. But
right.
like I've never been one to like yeah, you can talk, argue, but like you don't raise your voice. You definitely don't put your hands on anybody. Like that's I don't see how people can even be that way. Like it's not
You're so blessed.
never even crossed my mind. Like it's so
Yeah.
weird to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah, I
understand.
hear you. What a blessing. Y'all hear this? This is a this is no, yeah, you're one in a million. You're
Well,
one
thank
in a
you.
million. And
I appreciate
don't let anyone ever steal that from you. Don't ever let anyone
it.
make
Well,
you
they've
think.
tried.
I'm sure, because people be like,
even
"Oh, whatever."
even
No.
when I was in like boot camp and when I was in the police academy, I've had instructors in each instance try to dim my light. Like
Wow.
they
Mm.
and like when I was in boot camp and I was always smiling. I love to smile, and I would get in trouble for smiling. I got my butt kicked for 4 hours because I was smiling. And I was doing push-ups and I was still doing them with a smile, doing bear crawls with a smile. And uh, whenever it came time to graduate boot camp, that instructor came up to me and he's like, hey, like I just want to apologize. It's my job to try to like, make you guys tougher and break you down. He's like, but you never changed, and don't let the big Navy change you. He's like, I love your energy, and like, here's my full name. I never do this. Here's my full name. Look me up on social media so we can be friends. And I was like, got it. And same thing happened when I was in the police academy. One of the sergeants was not happy that we're like 4 miles into our run and I'm still smiling, and he tried to dim my light, and I was just like, okay, like it's not gonna happen. Like I'm still me, and I refuse to let other people's negative energy bring that onto me.
Yeah, you're definitely someone that you need to be teaching a men's workshop. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. I'm like,
I
for the
don't know if
next
I'm a good
300,
teacher.
no, no, I'm like, for the next 365 days, I am going to, I'm going to help you do it. Cause yeah, because it's like, people are like, what's the example? You, and I guess I'm gonna go back to this question though, because,
Hmm.
it's important. Go back to this question. Okay.
Hmm.
Outside of, just being a giver, being someone that is available to serve others and be there. Truly, though, what other space would you say, and I'll ask it like this, that where you're perhaps you're hard on yourself, where it's like a weakness. Like, what would you say are other weaknesses for you that you're working on, it affects you,
Uh,
or you're just like, okay, yeah, it's a weakness.
well, I mean, I had a few times where I've thought to myself, like, well, why, like, if I do everything right, why haven't I met somebody for me? So I need to like not focus on that negativity of like,
Okay.
if there is someone, like when it comes time, like it will happen. If not, I just need to continue with my purpose of being a great father and serving God, you know? So I need to not think about the whole, is there someone for me? Why don't I do, am I not deserving of it? Like I need to not think that way. And that's one of my I guess weaknesses is
Okay.
I let that negative energy come into me and I shouldn't.
Right, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's real and that's truthful. We're going to have to do this again. This is like the share focus on as a single dad
Hmm.
doing your thing, and it's absolutely incredible. And you guys, I want to honor this example of a single dad who is doing his thing. And when I say single dad, because you currently do not have a woman in your life helping you with your son or with your life, right?
No, zero.
Right. So you are a bachelor who's a parent.
Right.
Yeah. See. So this is yeah, and I want to be clear for people because like people are like, oh, I'm a single dad, but no, 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 no,
There's
no.
absolutely zero anybody in my life. Like,
No one's cooking you meals. No one's
yeah,
okay.
not
No, no, no.
texting anybody. I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And okay, and last question here. What would you say is the main difference and component from someone just being a dad and a parent?
So I think the main component is to, I would say, just as a man, be that guide, of the household, of the relationship. Because even though my ex and I are no longer together, we still have a relationship. We have a son together, and do what you know is right. Be a good example for your child, and that's what makes me a dad. Is that I always do what's right, and I teach him that, and I communicate with him properly. I don't hide anything from him. If it's something he doesn't need to know about, then I will let him know, hey, I don't believe you're old enough for that yet. When you're older, I will explain it to you and let you know what it is. So just be that guide for the family in its entirety, not just the kids, but also your ex or your current spouse. And yeah,
And do you feel so when it comes to being a dad and a parent, do you feel like it's one of the same?
I mean, some people can be parents, but they're not very present, and you have to be present. You have to, listen to them and uh, just remember how you were at that age. Try to give them examples of like how you were growing up and you know, what are his choices. And because, like I said, I can be a parent, I can just be here like on my phone the whole time and not talk to my son. But no, like I'm like, hey, how was school? Like, what did you learn today? What was your favorite part about today? Did you help anyone out today? And what didn't you like about today? I dive into trying to get more out of him so that he knows that I care and I'm interested. And he's still like, a kid. So he'll be like, oh, nothing. Oh, this or that. And sometimes he'll give me
Right.
something interesting. And I'm like, all right, there we go. There you go. I'm like, and I will tell him too. I'll be like, this is what I'm talking about, buddy. I want like good, positive feedback. Tell me about your day.
Right.
Like, I really care.
Right. Wow. This is an emotionally available male, everyone. Emotionally available male, okay? and this is what it looks like and this is what it sounds like. I definitely want to wrap up, but I want you to promise us that you'll come back for part two.
Yes, ma'am.
Love the conversation. I believe that you are someone that people need to hear. You're an example for men, for women, for kids of openness, of a male who's a gentle spirit. But I'm sure you have listen, I'm sure you can put somebody in a headlock if they acting a fool. Okay, let me not. You know what I mean? That is important. You know, I'm
Yeah.
sure you know how to
Right.
change a
Like I
tire,
said,
all the things.
raised in the South. Like I grew up like on farms, like chasing down
Okay,
cattle and wrangling
right.
horses, and same
Come
thing. I
on.
fix my own cars. I fix my own car, change my own oil, and uh,
Listen,
you
look, somebody better yoke this man up. Okay, somebody better come get this man. He's not out here for a long time. That's very
there's a reason
obvious.
why I did military and law enforcement is because I love protecting people, and I will do what I need to do that and serve my purpose. But at the same time, I'm very gentle with my son. I teach him how to be a man, but I also teach him that it's okay, like for me to give him a hug and kiss and all this and talk about whatever he wants to, and he can come to me with anything. So I feel like I have a good balance on how to be, a man, and especially since I didn't have one growing up, I like I said, I want to be what I didn't have.
I
Mhm.
believe that people need to start owning the people that they see in their life and just say what it is. Just
Well,
say what
like
it
I
is, you
one of the
know?
things, one of the things with my son is like growing up in the South, and I waited until he was a little older, like 5 or 6, when he could actually understand things, and I tell him, "Hey, I'm your father, and I need you to now respect my, title as your father. And when we're talking, it's either yes sir, no sir, or it's yes dad, no dad. You can choose either one, but I need you to respond to me that way." And he's like, "Yes sir." He picked sir on his own, and I feel like that's one of the things that's made it easier for me to be like a teaching father figure for him, is that okay, I need to respect this man and let me listen to this man. And he has given me zero issues. Anytime I tell him something, right away, yes sir. He doesn't back talk any of that. And I had to actually tell that to stepdad and to mom as well, like, you guys are too, relax with him. He is a man, he needs structure. Like, don't do me the disservice of letting him talk to you guys, like talking back to you guys over there when he's at your house. Like, if you have any issues, call me. I will correct it. And they have. Like, mom has called me before.
Listen, I was about to say, because I was like, okay, if I have a son, we are adopting that, because my husband didn't grow up like that. I'm like, baby,
Hmm.
he gonna call you sir, or he gonna pick
Yeah,
one. Okay,
yeah,
I just think
like,
that's wonderful.
yeah,
It really
yeah,
helps hone in. I think that's so great. Like, it really does.
hmm,
It gives like an automatic structure in a
yeah.
I hate the word hierarchy, but respect or reverence.
Right, right.
You
Like,
know,
it's like at the end of the day, like, it's still like your household, and like you are my
right,
child. Like, you need
right,
to, and not only that, like, show respect to your elders. And
exactly.
uh,
Yeah,
one
it's a great
time when
example.
I was exchanging him with stepdad, and he was walking towards stepdad, and like I said something to him, and he called me bro. But
Ooh, ooh,
as soon as he said bro, he froze,
uh,
and he slowly turns around, and he's like, "I'm sorry, dad." And I was like, "Don't say I'm sorry. Say what I said was wrong. I apologize. I will do better." And he's, "Yes, sir." So he was receptive to that. So from now on, when he does something wrong, "Dad, I realize I did this. It was wrong. I apologize. I'm going to try to be better." I'm like, "Thank you." That's all
Y'all,
I ask.
that's it. That's it. That's it. This is Wake the F Up podcast. This is it. We dropping the mic right here. We are teaching the next generation what it is. I just have chills all over. That's it. Thank you guys. This is Wake the F Up podcast. We have Roberto, but we dropping the mic here. This young man is everything, guys. Come check us out. I'm going to be talking again to Roberto. I'm just in awe, you guys.